Hello folks, and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party and another tea time. Today I want to talk about, that's a lot of teas. Today I want to talk about the idea of making money and making a career from posting up YouTube videos, specifically Let's Plays or video game related videos, and the negative stigma that really comes with that. The reason this came up is something I've thought about a while, but the reason this came up was there's a person I follow on Twitter who himself is actually a LPer who I like and have liked for a long time. He made this statement basically saying, he was complaining about YouTube professionals, if you want to call them that, complaining about YouTube and how it was keeping them from making money because it wasn't registering their views for the day, etc., and that's their income. And he was complaining about it. He's like, well, you play video games for a living, and if you don't like it, you should get a real job. Keeping in mind, this person doesn't do LPs for a living. He does it for fun. And there was actually a little back and forth between him and another Let's Player that I follow who was basically like, it is a real job. Why are you saying it's not a real job? Just because you don't like that some people do it doesn't mean that it's not a valid career to pursue. So there was a little back and forth, and that just made me think about, again, how this comes up, both in the Let's Play community and to everyone else. For full disclosure here, I want to point out that I definitely do not make a living on YouTube. I don't have anywhere near the number of views / subscribers to make that happen. I would like to make that happen, and I'm actually working to that end. So obviously there is going to be some bias there, but I try to approach this situation like I do all others, as logically and even-minded as possible. But again, just for full disclosure, that's where I'm personally coming from. First, let's look at the idea that you're playing games and making money off of it. The idea that you're just getting paid to have fun and play video games. First of all, and I don't think a lot of people who don't do Let's Plays realize this, but there's often a lot more going on than just playing a game, recording yourself, and throwing it up on the internet. Now, someone like me who just does raw, blind, unscripted LPs, there's not much editing work going on. I'll cut out maybe some dry parts, I might do some audio balancing, simple things like that, but for the most part, frankly, there's not a lot of time that goes into the editing process. But the people who do these Let's Plays where you cut out parts and make it funny and add text, there's a lot of extra editing that goes on that I don't think people realize. I've heard a lot of people who do this will say they'll record an hour of playing a game and get 10 minutes of footage out of it, if that. So there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Secondly, when you're playing a game for a Let's Play, you're not, let me phrase this correctly, you're not playing it exclusively for enjoyment. You're also trying to be entertaining while you're doing it. That doesn't mean the game isn't fun. That doesn't mean it's not a fantastic job to have, because it absolutely is. But there's a distinct difference. Again, maybe you don't fall into this category, and maybe giving funny, entertaining, insightful commentary just comes very natural to you. But for a lot of us, myself included, and that us, obviously, it takes an extra level of paying attention, trying to constantly be thinking of things to say, trying to constantly think of something funny, something to play off of, whatever, to keep the video entertaining instead of me just occasionally saying something. Because sometimes I will actually, that's why I have some games where I don't record, because they're my relaxation games. They're where I go to just kind of don't record, don't stream. I just play it solely for the purpose of having fun. So again, I'm not trying to make doing Let's Play seem like some difficult position or a difficult thing to do. But it's not quite as simple as just recording yourself, throwing it up on the interwebs, and getting rich. A lot of people also don't understand the pay scale. And I'm getting a little off topic, but just very quickly, I want to point out that it takes a lot of views. It's all about views, by the way, not subs and all that. It's all about views and retention. But in a nutshell, it takes a lot of views / retention to make a livable income, like a lot. Obviously, people like PewDiePie are making serious dough, but I have no idea how much. but I don't think he's hurting by any stretch of the imagination. So some people think, oh, you get 50,000 views a month. You must be making money hand over fist. That's not the case at all. So, and there's a whole nother video I could do on that. But just to clear that up, it takes a lot of views even to make a livable, passable income. One of the criticisms I hear about this is that, oh, people are just doing this for the money. If you start advertising, if you join a network, if you change anything on your channel at all to appeal to more customers, you've sold out. You don't care about the games anymore. You don't care about your subscribers anymore. You're doing it just to get rich. I think this is a ridiculous generalization. You can do both. In fact, I would go so far as to say most, if not pretty much all, big Let's Players and just whatever video games like Total Biscuit, he doesn't do Let's Plays, but he does like previews, things like that. I don't doubt that if most, if not all of them, enjoy what they do. They enjoy games. They like putting themselves out there. It's not just a 9 to 5. Well, this is just what I do to make money. I really don't think that's the case. And I know that's absolutely the case for me. Speaking for myself, I can say that I really enjoy doing it. It can be stressful at times. Again, I know I'm talking about playing video games and putting them on the internet, but honestly, that's the easy part. That's the easy part, to be honest. Figuring out the YouTube search engine optimization, getting your name out there, networking. There's a lot of behind the scenes shit. But anyway, again, getting off topic. I love it. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge of putting out entertaining / funny content. And I guess the question I would ask, if you really want to know who is in it just for the money and who isn't, the question to ask is, if tomorrow you could no longer, it became impossible for you to make money off of doing these videos, would you still do it? My answer would be yes, I would. However, I would also not work as hard on it because the money is an extra motivator, and there's nothing wrong with being extra motivation. Too many people look at money and they say, the minute money enters into the equation, everything goes to hell. And I absolutely understand that mentality because it often is the case. But you can't just immediately say, as soon as you're making money or as soon as one of your motivators is money, oh, it's corrupt now. You've sold out. That's not fair. Money is a great motivator, but it doesn't have to be corrupting. It doesn't mean the person is insincere. I still care about my small fan base. I still want to interact with them, but I still would love to make a career of it. And if it happens, I will be ecstatic. And if it doesn't, oh well, I'll still keep making videos because it's something I enjoy doing. And that's another thing you have to keep in mind. These people who make really good content, the Northern Lions out there, and I can't think of any other big YouTubers that I really like offhand. Think of all the extra time they have to putting out good content because now they can focus exclusively on doing their channel. Because they're making that money, they don't have to worry about, oh, I've got to do my 9 to 5 or these days 8 to 6 Monday through Friday job. Now their complete focus can be on this, producing better content and producing more of the content that you already enjoy. So as a viewer, it's just a win-win situation. Again, as long as the person you're watching isn't compromising too much on what they will do in order to get viewers, then I don't see a problem. Now, I will agree that there are people out there who will do things exclusively because they think it will get them an audience. For example, the whole webcam overreaction, playing horror games, screaming really loud, and just completely blowing things out of proportion. Some people are naturally like that. Other people, quite frankly, are obviously faking it because they know that's what's popular. So that's what they're going to do to pull in subs. Now, I do have an issue with that. I do think that's pretty lame when people do it. They're just, let's be honest, they're applying to the lowest common denominator. A lot, and again, this isn't. I'm not pointing out any specific YouTubers, and I know what you're thinking. And well, let's just throw it out in the air. Even PewDiePie himself has said that he is a character when he does his videos. That's not really how he would normally react, at least to that extreme. He's admitted himself that he does that extra because viewers like it and he wants to get more views. So while I personally will not do it, and I'm not really crazy when other people do it, I'm not going to raise the war banners against it or complain about it or whatever. He's got to do what he's got to do. I really don't care. It doesn't affect me. So yes, that does happen, and I personally am not crazy about it. But I think it's unfair to say that everyone who is interested in making money on YouTube, whether it be just a little bit extra beer money for the month or doing it as a job, I think it's really unfair to say that you're selling out and just to get more views. Another thing is it's important to understand the difference between just selling out and doing whatever you think it takes to get views and making alterations to appease your audience. I understand it's a very thin line, but I think it's there, and I think there is a degree where you can say, this is legit. Like, I'm trying to do things that my viewers will like more, but I'm sorry, I keep kicking the desk. But there are things that I want to go to you guys and say, okay, I'm thinking about doing this, or what do you guys dislike about my videos? What do you like, or what would you like to see me do? I don't see a problem with that. Obviously, I also do that, so I don't have a problem with it. But I'm trying to get feedback and say, okay, what will I change? Now, something, if I threw a poll up, 500 people voted, and 100% said, we want face cam horror videos from now on, where you scream and yell and do that, I'm not going to do it. I have my own personal limits on what I'm going to do. And I think maybe that's the difference. The difference is saying, okay, this I think is too far. This is not me at all. I'm not crossing this line. Where other people will say, yeah, sure, I can make money doing it. I'll do whatever you want. So I think that's in my opinion, that's the line saying, I'm not gonna cross, this line. So yeah, please do understand there's a difference between wanting to please your viewer base and just pandering. Another thing this person on Twitter said, the one that was saying, how can you complain about your quote unquote job when you play video games for a living? Back in my day, we just made the videos and put them up because we enjoyed it and because it was a fun thing. I thought that was a little silly as well, because again, I started off doing that as well. Again, speaking personally, when I first started about 2 years ago, I had absolutely no ideas or any aspirations to make any money at all doing YouTube. I just did it because it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. But then as I started to get better at doing it and get more subscribers, I honestly felt, you know what? I think I'm actually pretty good at this, in my opinion, that I think I could actually start, making at least some decent money on the side. So I think it's unfair to present it as a dichotomy when it's really not. It's like saying, well, you either do it for fun or you do it for money. Again, two extremes. You're either doing it for fun or you're doing it for money. There is no in between. As usual, I think that's incorrect. I think most people are on one side or the other. Sure, there's probably some people out there who do it mostly for the money, but still enjoy games. But I would think most people, again, talking of like people who are already popular doing Let's Plays and videos or video game related videos, I'm going to say I would like to think, and I might be naive in this, but I would like to think that at least, most of them are, somewhere in the middle where they do it because they enjoy it, but the money is a great benefit. Who wouldn't want to do something for a living that they love? I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? The dream is to do what you love doing and make money doing it. There's an expression that says a lot of millionaires or multimillionaires never worked a day in their life. And no, it doesn't mean what you're about to think it means. What it means is they found something that they really enjoyed and they could pour their passion into, and they focused on it so much and did it so much they became really good at it and therefore became rich off of it. Look at Warren Buffett, used to be one of the richest men in the world. He's, I think, 175 now, and he still, or maybe not now, but up to at least a few years ago, he was still doing his business. He was still involved in his business because he loved it. It wasn't a job to him. It's something that he cared about. It's something that motivated him. It's something that that really drew him in. So it wasn't a job to him. He wasn't working. He was doing what he loved and just happened to be making billions of dollars at the same time. Who doesn't want that? Why has this now become a thing where if you do something like this that you love to do, it's considered, oh, that's a bad thing. Like, you need to get a real job. And I want to talk about that a little bit. That is definitely a little off topic, but let's talk about that whole real job thing. This is something that's annoyed me for a long time. When somebody has a job that other people don't see as a quote unquote real job, they're like, oh, get a real job. What does that even mean? As far as I am concerned, as long as you are doing something legal and not horribly morally wrong, and you're getting your bills paid, it's a real job. I don't care what it is. If somebody's paying you $50,000 a year to sit in their house, watch Oprah reruns, and pick Cheeto dust out of your navel, that's a real job. It's not illegal. It's not immoral. It's a real job. I think, and I really hate this excuse because a lot of people say, oh, you're just jealous. And it's more often than not when people say use jealousy, it's incorrect. But I think in this case, there are a lot of people who are in a way jealous that they're working these crappy 9-to-5 jobs, going into the office, their boss is an asshole, their coworkers are jerks, people keep stealing their lunch out of the fridge, it's a dead-end job, and they see that, or they experience that, and then they see some jackass talking over video games on the internet and finding out he makes as much as they do. There's going to be a little unease there. And again, I'm not saying everybody who says this is jelly. Oh, you're so jelly. I'm not saying that. But I do think that there is some legit enviousness and jealousy going on when the people look at those doing what they love, doing something they don't consider serious or worthy of money, aka putting videos of themselves on the internet and making money off of it, and they shout these people down as not having a real job and all that nonsense. So I just want to get that out. That's just something that's always bothered me. So I guess to summarize, yes, doing YouTube is a real job that I'm not doing currently because I'm not making enough to make it a job. But it is a real job. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making money doing videos on YouTube. It's not going to automatically corrupt that person. It doesn't mean that person is always applying to the lowest common denominator. It doesn't mean that person doesn't care about their craft, that they're only doing it for the paycheck, and if you cut the paycheck off, then they would just move on to something else. None of that is always the case. Of course, there, again, always here and there will be examples that is true. But it's grossly unfair to say that applies to everyone or even most of the people who are doing Let's Plays or other video or any YouTube videos, even comedy videos, cooking videos. It doesn't matter. The makeup videos, it doesn't matter. It's just unfair to say that. And it's just one of those things that just drives me nuts. It's just there's no logic to it. And again, I can kind of see where people can get that idea, where sometimes money has entered into something, a hobby, whatever, and it's been corrupted or made worse or whatever, because people are just trying to maximize their profits. But we're generally talking about individuals here. And individuals, of course, are also corruptible. But I think you need to look on a case-by-case basis. And for the most part, my experience says that this isn't the case for most people who are doing this for money. That they're not bad people, that they're not all faking it, that they're not all doing it entirely for the money. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about video games. And they would leave the minute that they could stop. They would leave the second that they stopped getting a paycheck. Are there tons of copycat channels? Are there tons of channels out there appealing to the lowest common denominator? Absolutely there are. There are those people out there who just look at what's working for some of the top YouTubers and copy that and hope that they just make tons of money. I'm not going to deny that happens, because I've seen it happen. And some people it actually works for. Some of the copycats actually do get very popular. So again, I'm not denying that it happens, but again, I don't think it applies to most of the big folks. And even aside from that, there are tons of great Let's Players out there who have small audiences that aren't making tons of money. So if you're still insistent on, no, I don't want big YouTubers who are making their living doing this. There's so many. If you are a Let's Play viewer, which I am, I'm probably a viewer first. Well, I won't go that far. But I've loved Let's Plays for a long time. Before I started making them, I never even thought about making them for quite a while. But I'm at least equally as much a viewer as I am a Let's Player. So there's never been a better time to find great Let's Players out there to watch who are doing their own thing. They're not copying anybody else. They're just doing it however they want to do it. And if you want to check my playlist under channel raids, I've got several listed that you can check out. But anyway, I've kind of drug this out as I always do. I tend to talk a lot without being very clear in what I'm trying to say. I apologize about that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking, and I will see you next time.